Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Fresh off work, you heard? I had to do this. I had to do it. I saw it on the YouTube scrolling. I'm like, yeah, we gotta holler. We gotta talk about this. Trump is, using National Guard. He's sending them places. Me, I personally believe that he's going to be using these National Guards. It's not just for the crime. It's going under the guise of cracking down on black crime, but he's going to use it as a curtain to implement strategies on mass deportations. I'm telling you, I first heard that on a Tariq Nasheed talking space when they was talking about that. A lot of people saying, "Oh, what's going on here with this things that was going on in D.C." Let alone how many people that they deported from DC and all those businesses, a lot of them getting broken into. So a lot of people not working there no more. It's a lot of illegal immigrants, even in the nation's capital, which is like crazy. Um, let's check out some of this, yo. This is President Agent Orange's strategy. It got to be a strategy. I agree with Tyreek. He's putting them in multiple states. Ain't that much crime in Nebraska for this. Let's check this out. This is out of Fox. So watch out now.
We're learning more about the FBI raid on John Bolton's home and office. What were investigators really looking for and what it means for the former national security advisor. But first, what happens in D.C. doesn't stay in D.C. President Trump expanding his crackdown on crime and illegal immigration beyond the nation's capital. In fact, the administration is now planning to deploy 1,700 National Guard troops to 19 states over the next few weeks, and that should be very interesting. And with that, we welcome you to another hour of Fox News Live. I'm Kevin Cork here in Washington.
19 states is wild. What's even wilder is that Beijing toupee his brother got on his head. He looked like a tech deck skater thumb. Okay? That's crazy right there. He looks like a perfect pencil. All right? That's wild. Looks like an old bean trying to be a YN bean. That's crazy.
Washington. With more, we want to head over to the White House, the North Lawn to be specific. That's where we find my buddy Lucas Tomlinson, who has more on what has been a very busy week for the president. Hey, Lil T.
It sure has. Good morning, Kevin. And the Pentagon says over 2,000 National Guard soldiers
Volati got more head than he got body. Face ass.
Are patrolling the streets of the nation's capital right now. And President Trump says they could be deployed to other big cities as well.
We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an
Look at his hat. He is feeling it. So he actually got some energy in this one. What you gonna do? No, he is amped. He is pumped. He is wilding. He's about to wild out for the night. Trump was right about that. That's crazy.
incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York.
Troops should have been out in Chicago. Word is born. Other than that, the laws need to be like everywhere else. Like how LA was like Chicago in the 90s and whatnot. And everybody slowed down all these gun laws. Now they act like, oh, they don't care about no gun now. Nah, y'all working with them peoples. Nah, there's something going on because them gun laws are still strict out here. When y'all be trying to save face on these internet spaces, y'all be getting caught with guns and all. Nah, y'all work on some. But yeah, on serious note, them laws should have been changed. That's the wild, wild Midwest, Chi-Town, man.
Now, last year, Kevin, the murder rate in D.C. was on par with Chicago and nearly 4 times higher than Los Angeles and nearly 6 times higher than New York. Last hour, Congressman Pat Fallon told you D.C. needs to be cleaned up.
Even with D.C. hooking the books on their crime statistics, you're 3.5 times more likely to be killed in D.C. than you were in 2012 when a serious crime is committed. And from 2018 to 2023, carjackings are up 550%. So things are out of control. And thank goodness President Trump has taken these, again, bold actions.
They just put numbers up there. Y'all notice that? They just put numbers up. People love numbers. Remember, I was taking media communication, and this one professor who was working for a massive news outlet, they were doing polls on something. I think it was a president, some kind of election, right? But what the polls really meant, it was some kind of side joke. It was if you would rather be a duck, a cow, or a farm dog, something like that. But the way they set it up and the questions and things like that, they put it under the guise of an election. But it really was a joke. This is how you know Hollywood evil. They do the same thing in movies. And I just knew that little tidbit from just going to media communications back in the day, the little bit that I did, and that was wild. There's so many little tricks and secrets they be doing, the little innuendos. But yeah, these numbers don't really mean shit.
As you mentioned off the top, 1,700 National Guard members will also be deployed in 19 states. The White House says they will help DHS with clerical support.
That looked like my Jamaican homeboy right there. What was his name? It looked like Vibes with a haircut. Not O'Shane.
For processing illegal aliens at ICE facilities. Now, yesterday,
It was a wild name. One of them wild names that should be like on a European, but either that or on a Jamaican. It's one of them names.
FBI agents raided the home of Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. After returning to his office, Trump pulled his security clearance and protective detail. And those agents were also seen in his Washington office carrying boxes of documents, likely searching for classified information. Yesterday, the president admitted he's not a fan of Bolton, wrote a book critical of the president.
I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he's suffers major Trump derangement syndrome.
Now, at the same time as the raid, Trump's FBI director, Kash Patel, posted on X, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on mission." Kevin?
Hey, Lucas, really quickly, I just want to get your take on something. I think the president may have made mention of this. He said, listen, I understand that.
Is this a chocolate covered cracker? Brother, where is your lips, sir? Sir! Are you in blackface? Oh, that reminds me of a black movie. And what's the name? Oh, we're going to do Living Large. That's what we're going to do next.
This raid happened. I learned about it sort of belatedly. And is there any explanation for that from what you've been able to glean at the White House, speaking of the Bolton raid?
That's right, Kevin. The president said he had no knowledge of the raid. It's interesting that on August 13th, the day after Bolton is very critical of the president in a piece in The Atlantic, the president took to Truth Social and criticized and name-checked Bolton, saying, why were people critical? Of course, that was ahead of the president's meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska for that summit. So the president, just days ago, was very critical of Bolton. So some people are looking at that one, Kevin.
Yeah, he also added that, listen, as the chief law enforcement
Who in here watching me? Nene Tutti?
officer of the country, I guess I could be fully briefed on this, but he didn't sound to me like he was all that interested in getting in the weeds on it. Was that your take as well?
That's what the president says, Kevin. We take people at their word.
This week, we're hosting a
The I Team tonight is tracking the latest threats to Illinois from the U.S. Justice Department. Attorney General Pam Bondi is now calling on Democratic-led states to dismantle policies that forbid local law enforcement from working with federal agents on immigration enforcement.
Yo, her arms is her arms look lethal. Like, was she a lady saying? Y'all see them arms, bruh? Yeah, be careful out here. It's looking real two-dimensional right here, too. You heard?
And just hours ago, President Trump said he may soon deploy the National Guard here in Chicago to focus on crime.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this.
Federalized National Guard soldiers striding down Chicago streets.
I would expect to see the administration use the case, the sanctuary.
Chicago has that large problem with that Venezuelan gang that's taking over apartments. And that's why I'm like, what is Vic Mensa talking about? Like, oh, yeah, and, we used to Yeah. Like, bruh, like, whose side is you on, bruh? New Spain is not an indigenous place. They killed Native Americans also. There's California Indians that have nothing to do with Mexico or Mexicans. You might pass them up as a white person or a Mexican, but they have nothing to do with Mexico or Mexicans. They eat tortillas, but they are not Mexican. They are California Indians. Same with like Navajo, Hopi, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's wild out here.
City case as grounds for, if they choose to do it, for activating the National Guard, for federalizing the National Guard. The theory being that the state of Illinois is obstructing the federal government in its effort to enforce immigration law.
ABC 7 chief legal analyst Gil Sofer telling the I-Team while an action like this can and likely would be challenged in court, the seldom used strategy of deploying National Guard troops is becoming more and more common.
Until a year ago, you could count on one hand the number of times that the National Guard has been activated, federalized. We've already now seen it happen in Los Angeles. There's a threat to make it happen in Chicago. It could happen beyond that.
What the president is claiming.
I keep forgetting when they had the protests with George Floyd and Mike Brown and them, when they had the Transformer helicopter planes blow everybody away with the propellers, and like they in the air hovering, and they that was the National Guard right there. They keep forgetting them.
That he wants troops to do, they don't even have the authority to do it. They have no arresting powers. They have no legal authority to be able to.
And to get his ass up out of here, but he is a dimwit. Like, yeah, I don't like this guy.
Implement or to do any police work.
It comes in.
We call the Brandon Slayer. We need the Brandon Slayer. Call Dago.
A large-scale threat campaign from the Trump administration, lawsuits from the Justice Department challenging sanctuary policies across the country, including in Illinois. A visit to the Chicago area from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, calling out local politicians.
They're being obstructionists when it comes to getting dangerous criminals off of their streets.
And now letters from Attorney General Pam Bondi.
I don't know about all that, but I know damn sure these corporations, they love them some hardworking immigrants, boy. They love them. I'm sorry, not immigrants, illegal aliens. Ain't nothing wrong with immigration, because I'm finna immigrate in a minute. But they love them some illegal aliens, boy. They love them some cheap labor, some child services. They love that, boy. They ain't getting rid of it. All they keep saying, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? Like, what? Loudly and like aggressively too, like, oh, nobody wants to do those jobs. Like, what? You shitting me? They just want real pay, okay, and not to be treated bad. Like, say you from a country, a third world country that's a war stricken and all that. You're very disciplined, very hard worker, but in that country they got laws. They don't have laws that protect women against workplace harassment, sexual harassment. They don't have bullying laws and things like that, and they would love to hire you from their nationhood. You speak their language, and you're gonna let them abuse you within work. A lot of black people just ain't gonna take that shit. All right, they're gonna come here and then wild out on me like you my mama.
To dozens of districts, including Illinois, calling on states to dismantle sanctuary policies or face federal funding cuts.
I'm not daring them to do anything. I'm just saying they don't have a right to federal law and state law, separate endeavors, and they don't have a right to do the things that they're threatening to do.
And as the I-Team reported last month, a landmark lawsuit from the Justice Department over sanctuary policies in Illinois, Chicago, and Cook County was dismissed by a federal judge. The Justice Department deadline to replead the case is today. And the I-Team confirmed with the Illinois National Guard they have received no orders from the president to mobilize in the city. As of this hour, the Justice Department has not amended or repleted its lawsuit against the state and Chicago over sanctuary policies. If they do not do so by midnight tonight, the judgment
was like 79 million that's going into these illegal aliens and the ones that are in sanctuary that the Democrats let in. That's a lot of money that could be going to actual Americans in Chicago that need that. Yeah, I remember the video I did on the welfare and all that that's needed, and all the rebuilding of knocking down the projects and all that. Imagine that 79 million went to those areas. You know,
will be final, although they will have a chance to appeal.
what's this? We're gonna use another news outlet. Oh, what's this right?
Wait, if you were detained at any San Bernardino juvenile detention facility, such as High Desert or Gilbert,
sources confirm.
Is it me with all these California little kid jails and all that? Like 10 years later, they got some crazy stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some wild-ish. Like, yo, wilding out here.
Coming to News Nation that 1,700 National Guard troops are being deployed across the country to help ICE with President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigrants in the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth authorizing the support through mid-November. The Pentagon telling News Nation the troops will be deployed to 19 states that you.
Wow. Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota. I think it's a lot of Russians in North Dakota or something like that. They're gonna assist. They got the whole tropical whoop down. They leaving Mississippi alone. This is white and black there. Louisiana, VA, Nevada, Utah. Well, he gonna go all across America. Then the final battleground gonna be Cali again or something. I know he's trying to go against the cartels also.
See here on the map. News Nation's Libby Dean live at the White House. So, Libby, you just spoke with the border czar. What did he say?
Yeah, Kelly, I mean, this is one of Trump's top immigration officials, and we were the first to actually learn the operational details on those nearly 2,000 National Guard troops soon to be deployed to the 19 states, and what they're going to do is aid ICE operations. Here's Trump's border czar Tom Homan exclusively to News Nation explaining what those operations will look like.
If it doesn't require immigration authority to make an arrest, they can do things like transportation, infrastructure, intelligence, and support mechanism, and that's what they're going to do. And that puts more ICE officers badging guns on the street because they're going to do the duties that don't require that badging gun and immigration authority. So they're a force multiplier. It helps us arrest the bad guy quicker, and it makes it more efficient.
So what we were learning even before this interview with Trump's top immigration official is the Pentagon confirming earlier today to News Nation that 1,700 National Guard troops are going to be mobilized in the coming weeks to 19 states. You're looking at those states on your screen, some of them.
Bruh, if they in Texas, they definitely got to go to Cali. They probably just not letting that out there so don't be no civil unrest or something. But I've definitely seen them training at Pendleton, and I'm like, what they doing out here like that? You drive past on a I-5, and all you see is like the little makeshift like Iraqi houses where they be doing testing and all that. But you never see them outside right there on the highway like doing jumper jacks and shit. Like never. They be in a little trucks or, you know what I mean? Or far off with their gear on. They was like close to the highway.
Include Alabama, Florida, Texas, Virginia, but 19 states in total. And Texas is actually expected to see the largest Guard presence. And the
I bet Texas is about to see the largest Guard presence. Woo, Rio Grande, boy.
Pentagon stating operations will continue at least through mid-November, and they could go further than that. Now, Homan didn't get into the specifics of what this will actually look like, but he did say that it is possible in certain cities that these National Guard troops could arrest alleged illegal immigrants, and it could just not specifically be ICE making those arrests. So that's going to be something we're going to be watching for. But also,
Tariq said that. Tariq Nasheed said that. He said, this ain't just about no Kia boys. This ain't just about no carjackings. Carjackings ain't no serious crime. Niggas don't been carjacked no more like that. Hey, like, share, and subscribe if y'all ain't here new. Put a thumbs up for me, man. Inshallah. But yeah, he said they're gonna use the national, all this trying to qualm black crime or whatever, what are they doing? They're gonna use that as a blanket to get more illegal aliens. Hey man, get it how you live. I gotta drink some water, man. My chest hurting, man. Not feeling too good. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit the like, thumb up. You heard? Assalamu alaikum.